Well, hello folks. I want to do this video because I get so sick and tired of ignorance, really foolish Canadian, foolish Albertan people who are probably the most ignorant I've encountered in all of North America. I don't find Mexicans this ignorant or institutionalized. I definitely do not find Americans this foolish or ignorant at such major levels. Like, we're talking tens to even hundreds of thousands of people. Now, I should have tagged P.A. Hartley in this. She did a post yesterday, comment, and then she brought forward the video from YouTube of an Albertan who claims to be a media personality with tens of thousands of Albertans who believe that Danielle Smith negotiated a million-barrel-a-day pipeline deal with the United States of America. In the link of this title is the Government of Alberta's website where you can look at every single project. I know because I've worked on all of them. I'm not a stranger to the pipelines in Alberta, all the way to Illinois, as well as all the way down to Loup, Louisiana. I've been involved in every major pipeline project, every storage capacity terminal, tank farm, refinery, mining, extraction, you name it. I've been in all of it. I've worked in all of those projects. Nothing happens in Alberta that I don't know about. I'm sorry, but I've made a life in oil and gas, like other Albertans, lots. And there are no projects slated for oil and gas at any major level outside of Fort McMurray and Cold Lake. Very small projects that hope to expand capacity to Trans Mountain to China. It's right in the link of this title, Government of Alberta. I am sorry, these are current projects, all forecasted, negotiated projects, which aren't for sure. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Albertans. Not only do you need the deal, but then you need about 10 years to get a lot of projects off and running. And it's all there for all of you. And there is no proposed project at all, zero, zip, zilch, none, in all of that of Alberta going to the USA. It's all there for all of you to look at. All of you who don't the propaganda or the lies. And I hate to have to do that over and over and over again. But for some reason, Canadians, especially Albertans, love the lies, love to live the lie. It is the most pathetic thing I've ever encountered in all of North America. Like I said, I Zoom with Mexico, some pretty big groups there, especially on trade right now. Academics for sure. I did a whole program sponsored by the Mexican government. I did a whole year of international law, which that's one of the sponsors. So it's really hard for me to deal with the Canadian constitutional monarchy and the subjects of Canada, whether they be from Alberta or out east or Atlantic. But the worst I see is Albertans. Albertans love to be lied to, love to add it, share it, publish it, and I mean, not even in the tens of thousands anymore, hundreds of thousands. That publication got hundreds of thousands of fools, idiots, morons, people who just, somebody lied to me, and instead of looking at it, finding an outside source. I'm going to share the propaganda. I'm going to pretend Alberta's way better than it is. I also shared in the link this title for those who are, I've got a whole set of people that are very pathetic saying, how could you not know the education system's a scam? Or other people telling me, oh no, it's always been by semester in Alberta. That is a lie. It's always been a lie. Albertans, for some reason, when their government's fucking them, they really like to defend their government worse than any other Canadians. Honestly, the Albertans I see will defend their conservative master liars more so than even Ontario or Quebec. Quebecois and Ontarians won't defend their government when they're scamming them at an incredible rate. So, again, in the link, this title is the Alberta website from the government of Alberta on how tuitions are to work, at least in Alberta. But they give a disclosure that, yes, it's supposed to be advertised as annual, and they provide you all of it. My daughter's programs are, oh, that's for 8 months, they tell you. But then they give you a disclaimer, but subject to changes at the institution level, meaning the government doesn't even manage what they say. They said they cap tuitions at 2%, and it's based on an 8-month yearly term. That's what tuitions are supposed to be, legally governed by the Alberta government and capped at a 2% increase. However, they've allowed institutions to now divide their years into quarters, meaning they advertise that it's for a year, but then you find out it's per quarter after the fact. Owned by outside organizations, not under the umbrella of the Alberta government, even though education is most certainly 100% the provincial authority of the Alberta government that knows little to nothing. The Alberta Ministry doesn't even know or care to know how the institutions actually run. They even give a big variance of it could be a range from $6,000 to $20,000. But they say they regulate it so that what they advertise is in 8-month terms, which is the rest of North America. When you go to the United States, nobody's conning you like they are in Alberta. And Albertans love that. So many people coming forward defending it, saying, oh no, it's always been quarterly tuitions. No, it's annual tuition and fees. You pay for an 8-month year that can be broken down per semester served by student. That's always been a fact. But they're supposed to advertise and sell you on yearly tuition because they even tell you on the website it's supposed to be 2-year, 4-year, year. They don't say 8 quarters or 4-quarter terms. They say annual, yearly, 2-year programs, 4-year programs, 6-year programs, 8-year programs. How people in Alberta or Canada would defend the government again or accept the lie to pay twice as much as other institutions is beyond me. People can criticize me and say, hey, how could you not know? Well, that's the con of it. You don't get the official billing until you start the program. And unfortunately, my daughter, through her busing, I find out, oh, that wasn't covered, and they're billing on that even more, even though paid for the one card, did all that supposedly through tuition. That then I find out when we go through her student access online, as a parent, you find out, oh, it's only 1/4 tuition. The advertisement is a lie. The government of Alberta's website is a lie. They're not even accurate. Because why? The government isn't doing and saying and enforcing their power. They're allowing these institutions owned and operated by other provinces to run. unabated by the Alberta government that is supposed to be in charge. At least they claim they are, but they don't really get involved. And then they give you a big variance. Well, it could be from this to this. And these are extreme cost variations. And of course, they like to advertise their lower cost to pretend that they're much cheaper than all the competition. Like, for example, the United States of America, when in fact, they're twice as much. Almost twice as much. You convert dollar now, your average Alberta program is 40% more than the same program offered entirely in the United States. At least in all the states I looked at, because they're honest and they sell the program at an annual basis. They don't sell it that way, but then in reality, it's by the quarter. A complete lie. That's never, ever been the Alberta or Canadian model, but that's what they've taken and done to foolish Albertans and Canadians who just accept it because they don't know any better. And foreign students don't know any better, which again is 90% of the student enrollment in Canadian institutions. And there's a reason for that. It's become extremely unaffordable for all Canadians. It's a scam. It's a lie. Our institutions don't even operate in the realm of normalcy. It's why they need mass immigration and mass promises from taxpayers to pay. Because let me tell you what happens when those foreigners don't pay back their student loans. Hey, no worries. They finish their program in Canada, get their designation. They have these outstanding Canadian student loans. They piss off back to the country they came from, or worse, they go to a country like the United States through visa, and then they go like this to their student loans. Bye, Canada. Thanks, suckers. It's on you, the Canadian dullard taxpayer, especially the Alberta dullard taxpayer. That's how it works. That's the scam. And Canadians can't wake up to it, especially Albertans can't wake up to it. People are telling me, hey, how could you fall for that? I didn't fall for anything. That's how it was advertised pre-enrollment in the fall. And you only find out after the fact, after billing cycle's done, that, oh, sorry, that only covers one semester. We advertise, though, it's an annual program, but once you're enrolled after the fact, you find out it's double the cost because that only covers one semester. Not take the full year and break it down into billing sections per quarter, but actually charge per semester, not annual like everybody else in North America outside of Canada. And I bet you it spans more than just Alberta, more than NAIT. I bet you Grant, MacEwan, SAIT all do the same thing. I bet you the U of A, U of Calgary, and I bet you it's right across Canada. But because 90% student enrollment's foreign, and they don't have to pay back their student loans, they just throw it on Canadian cucks. Me, you, everybody. And then people saying, well, it's your fault. You need to fight back. You need to... No. It's all Canadians. It's not an individual thing. Or don't participate. Your children will be high school graduates. You can't do that, because if you don't put your kids in post-secondary, there's no future for them. If it's not a trade, a post-secondary or university, your kids are toast. They're toast. There's no path to success without education in this day and age. You could get away with it, I would say 30 years ago. Even in my early time, there were jobs like that. But now, most jobs don't pay overtime. They don't even pay your deductions. So a person will retire on welfare or on the old age security again through the Alberta Canadian taxpayers. They'll pay it all. That's the scam of a socialist and fascist system. How people don't know all these things is beyond me, and how people get critical from one spectrum or the other. Well, they will defend the government at their own expense and the expense of their children. No, it's normal. It's always been that way. No, it's never been that way. I don't know if this is a recent development, but it certainly wasn't a development in 1980. It wasn't a development for me in 1999 to 2001, and it certainly wasn't a development for me between 2001 and 2004 when I got other programs, including my Blue Seal project management, and of course I went on in my trades and got my welding ticket, which you find out all that's a scam too. The Crown is out of control. And what's worse is the conditioning of Canadians to believe that somebody can publish a YouTube video without any access or facts provided, none whatsoever, and that by the hundreds of thousands Albertans will jump on it, love it, share it, and believe it, when it's not even based in law, and it certainly isn't even based on anything released or negotiated by the Alberta government, who has a duty to report. That's in law, and they don't report that. They don't report any pipeline expansions. They do report, as you can go on the website and see, exactly what I told you, that they purport a pipeline to northern BC out to China. That's what they want. And they want another pipeline out to Ontario. They want that. And there is not one single company willing to put themselves in there since Shell left, since Keystone XL was terminated, and that company terminated all companies involved. And there is one major contractor that you should all know, TC Energy. And then there's all the subcontractors who all want none of it because it's always a Canadian scam. It's a Canadian scam. And people put the money and time into it, and they're left holding the bag. And the shareholders won't put up with it anymore because your Crown's a liar. Now, there's no agreement for any pipelines to the United States of America on the books, negotiated or other. Not in Canada, and certainly not in Alberta. It's on the website for everybody in the link of the title. Zero zip zilch. What is proposed, awaiting Canada's recognition, I'm going to say it again, is BC's port dredge to increase capacity of Aframax to China. Because apparently Albertans are too daft, stupid and ignorant, and Canadians at large, but especially Albertans, that all of the loss of American energy, oil and gas to the United States, which has fallen 10% over this year, has been replaced by China. You've transitioned to China. Millions of barrels a month now. You're getting up to 800,000 barrels. At least that's what the government wants to get to for communist China. That's who you're going with, Alberta. That's the project Albertans want. China, not USA. You're transitioning away from USA. If you don't believe me, again, link this title, Government of Alberta. That's what they want. And then the other is all the way to Ontario, which right now currently Wab Kinew of Manitoba is deathly against. He's already refused, as well as all First Nations right across from BC through Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba have all rejected it. They don't want anyone going through what limited lands they have. Right or wrong, that's reality. That's where we're at today. Last night and yesterday, the negotiation with Mark Carney and Danielle Smith, we are still waiting for this morning, and we will probably hear back today. Or maybe nothing was achieved. Maybe nothing was achieved. I don't know. But the only negotiation is out to China and out to Ontario to replace the United States and its refinement and sales to Ontario. That is all that's being negotiated right now, and only one of those is officially on the Government of Alberta website as negotiated proposed projects, not even official negotiate, propose. You can look at all the headings, all the color codes. You can zoom in on the map and they'll show you what's currently being looked at in oil and gas. And it's nothing that anyone's published yesterday, the week before that, the month before that, the same group of liars that Albertans go, with a spoon. Yep, lie to me. Give me more of this shit. Like a drug addict. Lie to me. Tell me what I want to hear. Manipulate me. Let's all live in a fantasy land of not reality. Education, too. When I was young, education was paid through your municipal taxes. You did not pay busing to go to school. You did not pay anything because it came out of entirely your property taxes, at least in Alberta. And that, for me, was 1981 all the way through to at least 1991. So I don't know beyond that, because then later into the 90s I began driving. So I don't know. That's as accurate as I can get it, but that used to all be covered. Now none of it's covered. Tuitions, college, university, any program was based on an entire 8-month term. They called it fall, spring semester. New Year starts fall and spring. Yes, 2 semesters a year, 1 year of enrollment, 1 tuition based on the entire 8 months. You can break that down and pay per semester. That's always been available. But they've always billed you in 1-year terms. This is, at least to me, a new phenomenon. Probably not new. Probably accepted by cuckold Canadians and Albertans a long time ago. But again, I haven't been in school since 2004. So anyone accepting that your conservative government here in Alberta is honest, righteous, or managing the school system and keeping tuitions down is a liar. Like every other Liberal, NDP, and every Crown politicians. It's fraud. It's an absolute lie. It's a trick. And it's right on their website that what they say, what they have there, and then they show the variations, is explained for by the fact the institutions themselves are not selling it as a 1-year program. They're selling it as quarterly programs. That's how they're doubling the expense and conning what few Canadians actually go to school. That's my video. Share, share, share. Right the wrong of delusional Canadians and delusional Albertans, because I think the biggest one right now, as much as education has me pissed off, oil and gas has me majorly pissed off. That how stupid can so many be, how ignorant and gullible. Because if you're this gullible in the hundreds of thousands on a complete lie by so many, that tells you that the electorate is that gullible, that the government can tell you anything in Canada, and not like Mexicans or Americans. You'll eat it like a shit said, yeah, tell me another lie, tell me whatever I want to hear, and then rape me. It's the person who's abused, but they like to be abused, the willingly abused. Well, that's not me and nothing I want to be. And if Canadians want to turn that around, they've got to start fighting for provincial constitutions and constitutional conventions. If you can't do that and you don't want to do that, you can't be saved. No amount of bullshit violence. Again, there's no legal path of any violence. There's no common law process. We've seen that over and over. Everyone who follows that cuckold cell ends up bankrupt. And if people don't know that, I don't know, you've got to be pretty daft. I've never seen a single success story. And the same liars come forward, blabbling, bumbling boobs. Oh, this person, Russell Gold, did this person did that. And none of it is remotely accurate or truthful or had any success. In fact, zero, zip, zilch. everyone who followed those processes went tits up. And it amazes me that people are still trying to bring this, people tagging me on my personal FB, like, we're going to post this on your Facebook. Like, don't post your crap on my Facebook. I'll remove it. I don't like being tagged in stupidity. Just tag yourself in your own stupidity. Post your own stupidity on your own timeline, because I don't want to hear it. You want to message me, but you wouldn't answer me because you're an idiot. I don't need idiots in my life. I've got enough idiots all around me as it is. I don't need them permanently posting on my social media accounts. Hey, look at me, I'm an idiot, and I'm going to tag you to make you look like my agreeable idiot. No, thank you. Your posts will be removed for good reason. They're inaccurate, they're low IQ, and it's for people who are stupid. I'm sorry, but I really love Donald J. Trump and the Trump administration, and I love how Donald J. Trump always attacks stupid people. These are people that will destroy your country. These are people you've got to keep far away because they're low IQ, they're susceptible to rampant stupidity, and they will corrupt everything you're working on with their own stupidity. And there's no shortage of it in Canada. The government has actually grown stupidity in this country beyond that of Mexico by large leaps and bounds. And I hate to say that. Your average Mexican is smarter than the average gullible Canadian who's been trained to be stupid, not able to think for themselves. That can only be explained by the education system. That's my video. As mean as that is, it's truthful. And again, where is the truth? It's in the link of these titles. 2 clicks on education, which shows fraud. It's fraud. The Alberta government is fraud. That's what it's called in the United States of America. If we were in US, I could sue for that. I could sue for that kind of con job. And I could sue at the state level officials who advertise that it's annual, but it's not. And they guarantee it. Like I said, link of the title. I wasn't an idiot. I followed the program. I researched like I did American institutions too. I was frauded by the Alberta government and their false claims, their false advertising, as are the false advertising of their institutions. Anyone will go through that. And then you'll think, because people don't know if they haven't been through it, that it's normal to be quarterly in semesters, that tuition's based on each semester. It's not. You can be billed that way. It's supposed to be annual. It's always been that way. And legally, in the link of the title, that's how Alberta tells you that too. Always annual. That's why 2-year program, 4-year program, 6-year program, master's, 8-year program leading up to doctorate, even upwards of 10 or 12 years, but 8 to 12 years, always annual, always in years. 2-year undergraduate, 2-year, not 4 per year, 8 or 4, or again 16 or 20. This is what Canadians don't understand. And just like pipelines, if you want to know the truth about any projects in Alberta, in the link of this title, it's all there, color-coded like crayons for little kids, so that you can see, are there oil and gas projects in Alberta? Oh, here's the 2 major pipelines to the United States. And then there was a proposed Keystone XL. Those are activated. None of those are being expanded. And there's nothing on Keystone XL or anything else. Not negotiated, not proposed, not on the books, not being developed. You've been lied to. Easy as that. That's my video. Share. Get it out there. Don't be one of the daft. Don't be one of the dumb. Don't be one of the ignorant. And don't support the ignorant. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes in research. But before you run off into idiot land, make sure you do your research. And just because somebody has a colorful video and they've got creative talents, but they're absolutely without fact, doesn't mean you should be quick to share it. I take my time. Sometimes I watch videos. Sometimes I can easily get out of them. I'm very good within a minute or two in knowing if what I'm about to watch is accurate or a fool's folly for low intelligence or easily manipulated or institutionalized Canadians. And I hate to say it, 99 out of 100 are full of shit videos, propaganda, more lies for gullible, inept Canadians. I've always proven my stuff to be deadly accurate. I always give it straight and honest and truthful, no matter how popular or unpopular, because the truth is what matters. Absolutely all the time. If you can't live in a world of truth, what world are you in? Lies, deceit, cheats, thieves? The crown? Is that the world you want to be in? Lie to me, cheat from me, steal from me, rape me, molest me, destroy my children? People say they want a better Canada or a better province or this or that, but yet over and over they continue the lies. They continue into the same effect that will haunt them no matter which path they supposedly want to go to. Because if you can't be honest, you can't follow the truth, do you really think you're going to get an independence or you're going to get sovereignty or you're going to get any of those things? No, you're going to get more badly abused and you're going to make the situation even worse. Again, that's my video. God bless. Share, share, share. This isn't an attack on all my friends and followers, but there's enough new people or dirt in the background lately where people want to present their bullshit and they want a platform to shit on all my friends and followers. And I don't want you. I don't need you. Go away. Go away. Nobody wants losers, lunatics, and idiots. I don't. I agree with Donald J. Trump. Get rid of the low intelligence people out of positions of development or positions where you want to achieve goals of fixing Canada or 51st state or independence or any of these narratives that people support. You're never going to get there with stupid, gullible people. You won't. I don't want them. I definitely don't. That's my video. Bye now.